10 most unusual homes in the world. Welcome to Tech Collective. Today, we bring you the list of the 10 most unusual homes in the world. Now, before we continue, please click on the like button. Give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to our channel, and press that bell icon so you can get regular updates anytime we post a video. Number 10 is the transparent house in Tokyo, Japan. If you say you have nothing to hide, try spending a few nights in the see-through house located in Tokyo, Japan. Built by Sao Fujimoto Architects, this 914-square-foot transparent house was inspired by our ancient predecessors who inhabited trees. While the so-called House in A offers plenty of daylight, expect no privacy here. The intriguing point of a tree is that these places are not hermetically isolated, but are connected to one another in its unique relativity. These are some of the moments of richness encountered through spattily rich living, says Sao Fujimoto. The white steel frame structure itself shares no resemblance to a tree, yet the life lived and the moments experienced in this space is a contemporary adaptation of the richness once experienced by the ancient predecessors from the time when they inhabited trees, says Sao Fujimoto. Number 9 is the skateboard house in Malibu, California. The ultimate dream for generations of skateboarders who wanted to bring their practice into their home has finally come true. The PAS house is the first house designed to be entirely used for skateboarding, as well as being a traditional dwelling. The skateboard house is the project of a private residence to be built in Malibu, California. In this house, you will be able to skate any areas and surfaces, both indoors and outdoors. The client and visionary of the project is Pierre-Andre Sirzeges, PAS, a former world champion and pro skater and the founder of Etnies. The house is divided into 3 separate spaces. The first one includes the living room, dining area, and kitchen. The second one includes a bedroom and bathroom. And the third one is a skateboard practice area. Each space is skatable, the ceiling in a continuous surface forming a tube of 10-foot radius. Number 8 is the Carrot House in Poland. The Carrot House, erected in a narrow space in between 2 existing buildings, measures only from 92 to 152 centimeters in width. It connects the buildings, but at the same time, it's also independent from them. Since the size of the space represents a problem, making it feel airy and spacious is nearly impossible. Still, several solutions were found. For example, the transparent roof lets in lots of natural light and prevents the space from feeling cluttered and claustrophobic. The house also has an open stairway and an entire wall of windows. In order not to interfere with the structure of the neighborhood, the house was built about 10 feet above the ground. It's 30 feet tall and it's unofficially known as the world's slimmest house. There are also several other structures that could easily fall into the same category. Number 7 is the Brooklyn Clock Tower home, New York City. This penthouse just set the record for the most expensive apartment sold in Brooklyn. It's situated within a clock tower. If you buy this apartment, you'll always know what time it is. That's because you will live inside a clock. It's the triple penthouse in Brooklyn, a 633 square meter spread atop the landmark clock tower building. The building is a former cardboard box factory built in 1914. The incredible penthouse features 4.2-meter-tall clock faces on every wall that allow plenty of natural light, while also providing amazing views of the Brooklyn Bridge and New York Harbor. There are 4.2-meter glass clock faces on 4 walls of the main living area, and a glass elevator in the center of the space. Originally priced at $25 million, the penthouse languished on the market for roughly 6 years and is finally sold for $15 million. Number 6 is the Steel House in Lubbock, Texas. Robert Bruno's House of Welded Steel was originally conceived to be a large-scale steel sculpture. Then, Robert Bruno spent the next 33 years of his life designing, with an absolutely meticulous determination and care. The huge 110-ton steel structure that became known as the Steel House, Robert built the house himself. He did not build it to build a house. He built it because he loved working in steel. He loved creating sculptures, The house, which can be found close to Lubbock, Texas, is actually built on the side of a canyon. It's not a huge house. It has an area of around 2,700 square feet, or around 250 square meters. Number 5 is the Upside Down House in Trassenheide, Germany. Built in 2008 in the seaside resort of Trassenheide on the Pomeranian island of Usedom, the Upside Down House was the first bottom-up dwelling to be built in Germany, but it wasn't the last. The topsy-turvy designers behind the odd abode were the Polish architects Claudius Golos and Sebastian Mikikuk, who built it as a part of a project called Die Welt Steigkopf, the world upside down, the aim of which was to give visitors a different view of everyday things. At the Trassenheide house, the only thing that isn't flipped on its head are the exterior stairs that lead to the attic, which serves as the ground floor entrance, realistically speaking. Around the outside walls of the inverted ground floor are an upside-down bench, wheelbarrow, and a bicycle. Number 4 is the S House, Saitama, Japan. The project is a small house built in a residential area near Omiya Station in Saitama. The project is a small house built in a residential area near Omiya Station in Saitama. Two 50-meter 2 floors are crossover in 2 levels on a site that measures around 100 meters. Each level is quartered, 2 opposing floors of which are elevated. The eaves surrounded at the middle of the ceiling height of the other 2 floors intertwine with the elevated floors, creating a space characterized by a complex network. The elevated floors of the 2 levels continue to a diagonal wall, as well as to floors above. The floors branch out again to continue above, staggering against the exterior eaves to compose a uniquely intricate elevation. This complicated structural logic is applied not just in the elevation, but throughout the interior space as well, where the floors themselves intertwine diagonally with a void that looks out the opposing space created at the center of this complicated floor. Number 3 is the Flintstones house in Malibu, California. Television legend Dick Clark is selling one-of-a-kind residence in Malibu for $3.5 million. The single-story structure, with its rocky interior, looks just like the home of Fred and Wilma from the classic 60s cartoon. This real-world version of the Flintstones home has 1 bedroom and 2 bathrooms, a fireplace, and several large glass windows offering views of city lights and sunsets, as well as Serrano Valley, the Boney Mountains, the Channel Islands, and the Pacific Ocean. Unfortunately, animal appliances are not included in the deal. The whole property sits on more than 22 acres and is waiting for a new owner. Number 2 is the giant seashell house in Mexico City. Remember those tiny crabs that borrow shells and make them their home? Have you ever imagined yourself living in a seashell? Probably not, since it's a crazy idea. Well, some people don't agree with that. Just take a look at this home. It's a house with a design inspired by a spiral shell. The shape and design are unusual and very suggestive. But that's not the only connection this house has with nature. The house was built using a combination of natural and inorganic materials that include local seashells and regional coral. All the walls are curved and there are no corners. To make things even more interesting, the house is located on a beach of a southern island, and this allows the similarities with the actual spiral shell become even more apparent. This unusual home was built for an artist named Octavio Ocampo. This is probably the only detail about this house that isn't surprising. Number 1 is the Stone House, Portugal. What do you think of this crazy stone house tucked in the Fafi Mountains in Portugal? Constructed between 2 giant stones and linked with a concrete mix, the house is rumored to be inspired by the popular American Flintstones cartoon. Although quite unusual, the prehistoric-looking residence does feature some traditional components, such as windows, a front door, even a shingled roof. As you might expect, the house's design attracts thousands of tourists each year. Well, thanks for watching our video. Make sure to comment down below which part you like the most. Click that thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and click that bell icon so you can get updates every time we post a new video.